It started with a message, a simple hi, the kind that could have easily been ignored, lost in the noise of social media. But something about him, his words, his humor, the way conversation flowed effortlessly, kept her coming back. Elise never believed in love at first message, yet Daniel had a way of making her laugh, of making her feel seen, even through a screen. Days turned into weeks into months, and suddenly it wasn't just chatting anymore. It was waiting for his replies, for his voice, for the moments he made her heart race. Until one day the wait was over. Elise had never been the type to meet strangers from the internet. But Daniel wasn't a stranger anymore. When she stepped into that hotel lobby, her heart pounded like a warning or a promise. And then, there he was, taller than she expected, eyes that held something she couldn't quite name, a presence that made the air feel heavier, charged. They barely spoke. They didn't need to. The moment they were alone, everything that had been building between them exploded. It wasn't just passion. It was something deeper, something raw. That night, in his arms, Elise thought, maybe this is it. Maybe this is love. Love was supposed to feel safe. But for Elise, it felt terrifying. They had moved in together, but something gnawed at her. What if he didn't really love me? What if I was just a phase? The fear became too much. So she ran. One night, without a fight, without a proper goodbye, she packed her things and disappeared. Leaving him was supposed to make the doubt go away. But instead, it only made the hole in her chest bigger. She was the one who proposed. A moment of bravery or desperation. But Daniel didn't answer. He just looked at her, silent, unreadable. And that silence broke her. She left before he could reject her, before she could hear the words that would shatter her completely. But days later, a message came. I want to marry you. Her breath caught. She read it again and again. He still wanted her. Despite the mess, despite the fear, despite everything, they stood before the altar, promising forever, even though neither of them truly knew what that meant. But love wasn't about certainty, it was about choosing over and over again. And that day they chose each other. They built a house in 2021, turning 4 walls into a home. But by 2022, something had changed. The fire dulled. The days blurred. Love felt more like routine than magic. And then came 2023. Daniel's accident shook her to the core. One moment, he was fine. The next, he was fighting to stand, to move, to live. She should have been there for him. Instead, she broke. The loneliness, the fear. It led her somewhere she never thought she'd go. Into the arms of another. It wasn't love. It wasn't even desire. It was escape. And when Daniel found out, the look in his eyes was worse than any scream, any fight. It was heartbreak, disappointment. But he didn't leave. Elise knew she had to fight. For him. For them. So she worked. Not just to support them, but to prove, to show, that she was still the woman he married. That despite the mistakes, despite the wounds, she still chose him. And slowly they rebuilt. Now, in 2025, they are still here. Still standing. Still together. Because some love stories don't end when things go wrong. Some love stories are tested, broken, and still survive. And theirs? Theirs was unbreakable.